Hello guys, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will show you some of the best teams to use with Furina. Do keep in mind that the teams mentioned are not limited and you can be more creative with your teams. Also, the order of the teams don't indicate anything. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. At first, we have the Wave team with Xiangling. You can't expect a Hydro character team without having Xiangling in it. But in this one, Xiangling won't be the one vaporizing. The Salon members of Furina will be the one doing it. Due to Furina's slow Hydro application, she is able to proc wave hits. It is satisfying to see the big Hydro hits from Furina. This team consists of Furina, Xiangling, Bennett, and the last slot is Flex. Here you can use supports to boost your damage like Kazuha, or you can use Nahida for burn wave. Using another healer in this team isn't necessary as this team does not have strict rotation, which means you can cycle Bennett's healing to all of your teammates. But for a comfortable and easy playstyle, you can use a healer like Jean, Sayu, Baizu, or Yao Yao. As I mentioned earlier, this team doesn't have a strict rotation, so you can funnel the Furina's particles to whichever character you want. Alternatively, you can use double Hydra by using Xingqiu or Yelan in this team to let Xiangling vaporize her hits.
The next one is Mono Hydro team. This team consists of Furina with two off-field damage dealers, Xingqiu and Yelan, and Kokomi as on-field driver. Kokomi provides team-wide healing through her normal attacks after using her burst, and big on-field heals with a jellyfish. This provides HP fluctuations for getting fanfare points. Kokomi as an on-field driver does decent damage with full HP build and a hydro damage bonus goblet. Xingqiu's C2 reduces enemies' resistance by 15%, which boosts the whole team's damage. Since this team consists of all hydro characters, there will be no energy issues, which lets you drop your energy recharge weapon and artifacts and let you use more offensive builds on your characters. You can replace Kokomi with Barbara as she can also provide team-wide heals for normal attacks, although not as strong as Kokomi since she can't have 100% uptime on her elemental skill. But her burst provides a huge chunk of heal to the whole team, and her C6 can be useful if you have unlocked it. A variant of the Mono Hydro team is swapping out Kokomi for Jean or Sayu, or you can also swap one Hydro off-field damage dealer, that is Yelan or Xingqiu, with an Anemo support like Kazuha preferably, or Sucrose, Venti or Lynette. This lets you apply very decent resistance straight on opponents, boosting your overall Hydro damage. If you plan to use healers like Jean or Sayu, you can use an on-field Hydro DPS like Ayato. Some examples of this type of team is Furina, Xingqiu, Kokomi, Kazuha, Furina, Yelan, Ayato, Jean. The next team is New Villette team. I mean, if you have already seen other videos before watching this one, you guys already know that a video about Furina's teams is incomplete without New Villette in it. He makes gaining fanfare points extremely easy as he provides huge HP changes by himself. Here, New Villette loses one stack of his passive that increases his charge attack damage, but he in turn gains a 25% HP bonus from Hydro Resonance, team-wide damage buff, and off-field damage from Furina. And for the third slot, you will need a healer. New Villette at C0 appreciates some interruption to resistance to avoid getting interrupted while casting his charge attack. So Baizu is the perfect option for this role as he provides mild interruption to resistance even though his shields are weak, while also having the best synergy with Furina to provide fanfare stacks. Do not fret if you don't own Baizu, there are some other great options to replace him as well. Jean is one of the best healers of Furina who also enables your team to unlock the very decent shred. Sayu, just like Jean, also provides VV shred. Charlotte and Mika are also a great option as a healer for keeping the team's HP above 50% due to their huge one-time heal that applies to all teammates. There are many great healer options, but try to use one from a different element to activate New Villette's passive. And the last slot is Flex, preferably someone from different element for New Villette's passive. It can be Kazuha, Zhongli with Archaic Petra, Fischl, Albedo, etc. Kukishinobu also works with Baizu to do some Hyperbloom damage. You can also use Yelan to get the damage bonus, but you won't be able to trigger her burst attacks. Just like New Villette, you can't expect Risley to get separated from the Fontaine's biggest celebrity. Similar to New Villette, Risley also provides fast HP fluctuations, which makes getting fanfare points extremely easy. Along with Furina and Risley, you will need a healer. You can use Jean or Sayu for heals and very decent shred. You can also use other healers like Charlotte, Mika or Baizu. They can utilize the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige and buff the attack percent of your team. I wouldn't recommend Tenacity on Charlotte as Risley needs more field time, which makes Noblesse a better option. Charlotte can also use the 3 intels to buff Risley. And for the last slot, a buffer like Kazuha, Bennett or Shenhe, or a sub DPS like Yelan or Xingqiu. I have made a Abyss showcase video of Risley with Furina and Charlotte, do check it out as well. This team works extremely well and I had a lot of fun using them. Furina also works in Bloom teams due to her being a Hydro character.
but I won't recommend using her in these teams unless you use her with Yelan or Xingqiu, as they are the only off-field hydro characters currently who can benefit the most from her kit.
This team consists of Nilou, Furina, Yelan or Xingqiu, and Baizu or Yao Yao as your on-field applier. Baizu being the better option as he provides more comfortable playstyle, but Yao Yao also does her job perfectly well. If you don't have Nilou, you can use another Dendro in her place, preferably Nahida or Kawe. Although I wouldn't recommend using a Bloom team unless you have Nilou, but you can still play it if you wish to. In my opinion, she can't truly shine in Bloom teams as she can't buff the reactions and it would just be wasted potential. Nahida is usually better in teams related to Bloom reaction, but the Furina team also works. You can also make a Burgeon team around her. For this, you will need Thoma with full elemental mastery build, Yelan or Xingqiu, and Baizu or Yao Yao for the last slot. Make sure to use Deep Wood on your Baizu or Yao Yao and take Thoma to level 90 to increase your Burgeon damage. You can use Favonius on your other characters or on Thoma himself to have 100% uptime on his burst. You can change this team to Hyper Bloom team just by replacing Thoma with an Electro character who can proc Hyper Bloom consistently like Cookie Shinobu or EM Raiden. Cookie's self HP drain can help to build some quick fanfare points. Flower of Paradise Lost is the best set to use on these characters for more Hyper Bloom damage. You can also use Gilded Dreams or mixture of elemental mastery sets. A variant of this team is Quick Bloom team. Here, instead of only focusing on Hyper Bloom damage, this team also aims to maximize the damage of your DPS characters like Alhaitham, Sino, Kaching, Raiden or Tignari. Here you don't need to use a second Hydro character. Furina shines in these teams as she buffs the main DPS personal damage which can make up for the less Hyper Bloom procs. The general layout for this team is Furina with Baizu or Yao Yao, an Electro character who can consistently proc Hyper Bloom like Cookie Shinobu or EM Raiden, and an Electro or Dendro DPS. If you are using someone like Sino or Raiden for your DPS, you won't need another Electro character to proc Hyper Blooms as they can do it themselves. So instead you can give that slot to a buffer like Kazuha, Sucrose or a sub DPS like Fischl, Yelan, Xingqiu or Nahida. Fischl is usually preferred for Sino to meet his high energy requirements. Some examples of this team include Alhaitham, Furina, Cookie Shinobu, Yao Yao, Sino, Furina, Fischl, Baizu, Raiden, Furina, Nahida, Yao Yao. If you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell to get notified about my new videos. You also can't forget the best made of Teyvat when it comes to building teams with Furina. Furina can give huge boost to Noel while also enjoying the team-wide heal she provides which helps in building fanfare stacks. The other two slots are Flex, Goro and Albedo are the best ones to use in this team. Goro boosts team's geo damage and defense, Albedo provides off-field damage, energy particles and Goro's requirement of third geo character. You can use Zhongli if you don't have Albedo. Zhongli helps you with resistance trait which will boost your overall team's damage. Other characters you can use are sub DPS like Yelan, Xingqiu, Fischl, etc. And if you plan to use a sub DPS, using Kazuha for the last slot can help you boost your sub DPS damage. Next team I want to talk about is the Taser team. This team consists of two off-field Electro characters like Fischl, Beidou, Yaemiko or Lisa. Beidou is preferred for multi-target situations. And Beidou is currently on Furina's banner which means you can get her constellations while pulling for Furina. And for the last slot, Kokomi or Barbara as your on-field driver. There's no healing problems in this team and Electro Resonance provides a lot of energy for this team. You can change this team to Hyper Taser team by using on-field Electro DPS like Raiden, Kaching or Sino. You will need to use Jean or Sayu as a healer for VV trade. Kujo Sara, especially at C6, is the most preferred option for characters that have short rotation like Raiden Shogun or Kaching, as she can provide huge damage boost to Electro characters. If you don't have Kujo Sara, you can use any other Electro or Hydro sub DPS characters. The next team is with the most hated character by the Genshin Impact community, Chi-Chi. Healing is the only thing that Chi-Chi can do other than ruining everyone's 50-50, but you need to use her as on-field driver for consistently healing your whole team. Other than Furina and Chi-Chi, you will need an off-field Hydro damage dealer that is Xingqiu or Yelan, and the last slot will be Flex. Here you can use Chongyun to infuse Chi-Chi's normal attacks with Cryo to freeze your opponents. You can level your Chi-Chi's normal attack and build her as Cryo DPS to deal some damage. Chongyun's Cryo particles can help Chi-Chi as she can't generate any with her elemental skill unless you have her C1. Chongyun also provides good burst damage and can utilize 4-piece Noblesse Oblige to buff his own burst damage and give attack percent to your team. You can also use Kazuha or Venti for crowd control and V-Descent trade. Or you can use other sub-DPS characters like Rosaria, Yelan, Xingqiu, Fischl or Albedo. You can give Chi-Chi Sacrificial Sword as there is a 15 seconds downtime to her elemental skill, or you can use Favonius Weapon for reducing the team's energy requirements. Chichi can utilize the 4-piece tenacity of Millelith to buff the attack of your team. Do keep in mind the attack buff will be useless unless someone can benefit from it. So in such cases, you can use the Ocean Clam set for extra damage. Another character who received a boost from Furina is Hutao. You need to keep Hutao below 50% HP to get the 33% power damage bonus from her passive, which contradicts the need of having HP above 50% with Furina. But in a double Hydro team with Furina and a strong healer, you can get a lot of fanfare stacks by keeping her HP above 50%. At Furina's burst level 10, by only getting 132 fanfare stacks, which is easily achievable, you can get the 33% damage bonus. This exceeds the need to have Hutao's HP below 50% for her passive. Also, this buff applies to your whole team, which means that she will boost your Yelan or Xingshu's damage as well. The best healers for Hutao are Jin, Sayu and Charlotte. Jin and Sayu provides Vivi Shred mainly for Hydro sub DPS, and Charlotte can enable some melt reactions, utilize the Thrilling Tails and Noblesse Oblige to further buff Hutao's damage. You can swap in any other healers like Mika as long as it doesn't mess with Hutao's reactions. Furina also enables the Marichosi Hunter set for Hutao, which means she can enjoy the huge 36% crit rate boost. When it comes to DPS characters that constantly offer HP changes, we can't forget the OG emo DPS that harms himself, that is our short king Xiao. Xiao's constant HP drain makes him a great character for building fanfare stacks. For this team you need a good healer, preferably an anemo healer like Jin or Sayu for providing energy to Xiao. They can use the Viridescent for buffing your sub DPS damage if there's already a Noblesse user in your team. And if you happen to have a very bad luck and own a C4 Jin, she can also help with 40% anemo resistance rate. You can use other healers too like Baizu or Charlotte. You can also give your healers Noblesse Oblige to boost the team's attack. And for the last slot you can use Faruzan or Bennett to further buff Xiao's damage. Faruzan at C6 becomes the best character to use here. You can also use other sub DPS characters like Fisher or Albedo. Yet another forgotten Thai queen who can be used with Furina is Eula. Even though she doesn't need a Hydro teammate, the damage buff is highly appreciated by Eula. For the other two slots you need a Cryo healer, preferably Mika, or you can also use Charlotte as they provide cryo particles for Eula's high burst cost. And for the last slot you need an Electro enabler like Raiden Shogun, Kuki Shinobu or Fischl. Due to the Hydro application of Furina, you can cause some shatter reactions, which means that the EM you have on Eula will not be completely wasted. Deya also received a buff with Furina. Even though Furina's Hydro application alone is not enough for making Deya consistently vaporize her hits, but you can pair her with Mona or Kokomi. Mona is preferred due to her damage bonus. And the last slot can be Flex, here you can use Jin, Bennett, Sayu or any other healer. Furina synergizes well with most of the DPS characters currently in the game. I can't list all of the characters here as the video will simply get too long and hard to watch. She also enables Marichosi Hunter for them, which can be a huge upgrade depending on your DPS. Lastly, I would like to mention the Archon team with Nahida, Raiden and Zhongli. This is basically an AFK team that can delete every enemy in the overworld. You just need to use the elemental skills of the Archons and that will take care of the enemies. It may not be an ideal Furina team due to the lack of healer, but you can clear the Abyss with this team as well. I made a showcase video of the Abyss trial with this Archon team. You can check it out, I will link the link in description. You can use R5 prototype Ember on Nahida, but you will mostly suffer with low HP as even R5 prototype Ember is not enough to max heal your team to consistently get fanfare points and buff Furina's summons. But this team does work with proper execution. I was able to clear the Abyss without any issues. The buffs from Furina, even though pretty inconsistent, but when combined with Nahida's EM boost and Zhongli's resistance shred along with the tenacity, gives a good boost to Raiden's personal damage and Hyper Bloom damage. And Raiden's energy restoration lets you have 100% uptime on everyone's burst. Furina is an extremely flexible unit and can fit into most of the teams due to her being a Hydro character. Also, there's no limitations on her elemental skill like consistently using normal attacks to trigger her Salon members. One thing to keep in mind is that most of the time you will need a good healer with her. Jin and Baizu are usually the most preferred ones, but fret not as there are many great 4-star options to choose from. In fact, Charlotte even at C0 is enough to get the max fanfare stacks and she is currently there in Furina's banner. Feel free to suggest any other teams or the teams that you use in the comment section for others to see and build their own teams. Don't forget to like and share the video with your friends to help them build their teams. Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more Genshin Impact content. That's all for this video, thanks for watching.